وبركاته. أن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له. وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam informed us that everything that will get us into the Jannah, He's told us about it. He commanded us, encouraged us to do those things. At the top of the list is to have the Tawheed of Allah and to be sincere to Allah in all of our actions. And to worship Allah alone. And in whatever capacity we find ourselves in this dunya, to see yourself as a slave, an abd who is musakhar. You've been made to do every move, every set, every step, everything. Your harakat, your sakanat. Try to make everything you do, you say, everything you think for Allah's sake. And it's not easy because Bani Adam has been created weak. And he also informed us that everything that would cause us to go to the knot of Jahannam, he warned us of it. He said it's haram. He said don't do that. Those things that make Allah angry. The top of the list is making shirk with Allah. Person not doing the regular things that make a person a Muslim, like praying, wearing hijab, so forth and so on. As it relates to the knot of Jahannam, may Allah protect us from it and save us from it. The majority of the people will be punished in the knot of Jahannam. They'll be punished as a result of what their tongues put forth. So today's khutbah is kind of like a challenge, not a negative challenge, but a positive challenge. From a brother to his brothers. Some of you are older than me, some of you are similar to me, some of you are younger, some of you are my students. It's a challenge, not a negative challenge. Just a real straight up challenge about trying to be better people in terms of our tongues. Prophet Muhammad came out to his companions, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, radiyallahu anhum ajma'een, and then they were from the awliya of Allah. He asked him a question, Atadruna mal gheebah? Do you people know what gheebah is? Backbiting? Do you know what it is? They said Allah and His Messenger know best. He said, Al-Gheebah is from the major sins. It is to mention something about your brother that he doesn't like you to mention that thing about him. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. I'm an American citizen. I'm American. So if people call me Abu Usama al-Amriki, the American, I don't like that. Because I'm embarrassed about what my country does across the globe, especially to the Palestinian people, under the name of democracy and my taxes that I pay to them. So if someone describes me as Amriki, I don't want you describing me as that. Not that I'm going to throw my American jinsiyah away. I don't like it because I'm embarrassed. But al-Gheebah is mentioning something about your brother that he doesn't like, that you mention that thing about him. They say, Ya Rasulullah, what if what we say about our brother is true? He said, if it's true, it's a Gheebah. He doesn't like it. If you're mentioning it for a reason that is other than a reason that's legislated, you can mention that I'm Amriki. There's a religious reason you're mentioning that to distinguish me from other people. If you mention it and he doesn't like it, it's a Gheebah. But if you mention that thing about him and it is not in him, you have slandered him, which is worse than a Gheebah. So we make a lot of Gheebah day in and day out. We make Gheebah. And we also make what is known as buhtan and al-ifk. We make things up about people. It's not even true what you're saying. And both of them are from the major sins. Prophet Muhammad said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, about al-buhtan, which is really serious. من قال في مؤمن ما ليس فيه أسكنه الله رغد الخبال حتى يخرج مما قال. Anyone who says something about his brother or his sister, her sister, is not true. Allah will cause them to be in the punishment of the pus of the people of the knot of Jahannam. He's going to burn in that pus. He said about Gheebah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he went to the Isra and Mi'raj, al-Isra, where Palestine is. He went there and then he went to the seven heavens. When he was going up, he saw a group of people with long nails scratching their faces off, scratching the skin off of their faces and the skin off of their chests. This is not imaginary. This is not cartoons. They were scratching the skin of their faces off and their flesh of their chests. He was afraid. He said, Jibril, who are those people? He said, هؤلاء الذين كانوا يأكلون لحوم الناس ويقعون في أعراضهم. Those are those people who used to talk about people and eat their flesh, make Gheebah of them. And they used to talk about their honor. He's a thief, he's a liar, he's this, she's that. That's their punishment. So Gheebah is mentioning about your brother what he doesn't like you to say about him. And you don't have a religious reason to say what you're saying. If you have a religious reason, it's a different kettle of fish. But you're just kicking the woolly bobo and chopping it up. Now I know, as I see you brothers Mahmoud, the mudir of this masjid, I know. Abdul Hadi, Abu Tariq, my main man Abu Spaghetti over there, I know many of you people are not people who do Gheebah. You're not like that. It's when bad influences come to us. People who do Gheebah. They don't have discipline. And we just chopping it up, hanging out. That's all. And they start talking about Fulan and Alan, and then that's when we listen and we start doing Gheebah. I know that, I understand that. Bad influences. And they're not necessarily bad people, they just don't have any discipline with their tongue. The majority of the people who are punished in the hellfire punished because of their tongues. Ahi, Farzan, Feiruz, all of you brothers, my students, Abdul Shakur, I'm going to die. I'm dying soon. Although I'm trying to eat right. I'm not trying to eat this saturated fat and all of this modified food, but I'm dying soon. And like you're going to die. If I die today or tomorrow, I want you to do this with people and do it with me. Is this a religious reason why you're talking about this brother or this sister? If it's not, don't talk to me like that. Gheebah. It's a major sin. And we do it. It's normal. Another issue. In our community are those people who are really serious about eating halal. And that's a good thing. You have to eat halal. Eat halal. It's a part of awareness and wara. And if someone eats the hit him in the head meat, you know the hit him in the head meat? McDonald's, Burger King, this hit him in the head because they just hit the meat in the head. They don't say Bismillah. If he met a person who eats hit him in the head, he say, A'udhu billah, A'udhu billah. But the hit him in the head meat eater, he has some dalil. اليوم أحل لكم الطيبات وطعام الذين أوتوا الكتاب حل لكم وطعامكم حل لهم. Today the pure things have been made halal for you. Pure. Pepsi is halal, but it's not pure. You can still drink it. The pure things. And the meat of the people of the kitab is halal for you, and your meat is halal for them. So that brother, that family eats from Taco Bell's, they eat here, they eat over here, this joint over here, chicken wing, they eat. If you see it, you're, and you like, I don't want to eat. That's a level of wara, being aware. I'm not going to eat, but he has dalil. The question is, that is manufactured wara. Manufactured because your wife comes out with the sari like the Hindu women, and her meat is all out of her hijab. Her meat is all over the place. And also, you eat the flesh of your Muslim brother day in and day out. Allah described gheebah as eating the flesh of your dead brother. Who would do that? Allah said, فَكَرِهْتُمُوهُ. You should hate that. Mentioning anything about a Muslim that he doesn't like, and you don't have a religious reason to say that, is eating the lahm that's haram. Who in his right mind worries about, I'm not going to eat Burger King, McDonald's, Taco Bell, but you're talking about people, and you don't have a religious reason to talk about them. You don't have a religious reason to talk about them. I want to take this opportunity here today, Ummah Islam, to share with you very quickly some of the things that are not gheebah, religious reasons where and why you can talk about people and say bad things about them and they may not like it, but it's religious and you have the right to do that, because it seems like many of us think we could just talk about people and say anything about people. It is true that you sat next to him and when he talked to you, he had a smell, an odor. He had bad breath. It's true. But when you go and you say to the mudir, you know, I sat next to Fulan and he had bad breath. Why did you say that religiously? Why did you say that? Why didn't you go to the brother and say, as my brother, I'm telling you have this repugnant odor emanating from you, you should go solve it. Why go say it to someone else and he ain't gonna do nothing about it? That's gheebah. I'm telling you as I stand, and I'm gonna die soon. I'm dying soon. We all make this gheebah. And we have to start saying, amen, back up with that stuff. I heard the punishment of gheebah, the punishment in the grave and the punishment Yom Al-Qiyamah. He's going to be punishing his own self because he had an opportunity not to do it, but he insisted and persisted. What is not gheebah, if you did this, is for you to describe someone with something that you're not trying to put them down, but you're just trying to get the person you're speaking to know this is the one I'm talking about. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayed with the people. And he only prayed 2 rak'ah, but the prayer was 4 rak'ah. And after 2 rak'ah, he said, Assalamu alaikum, Assalamu alaikum. A man came and said, Ya Rasulullah, has the prayer been shortened or did you forget? He said, it wasn't shortened, I didn't forget. He said, yes, you did, Ya Rasulullah. We only prayed 2 rak'at. He wasn't afraid to talk to the imam, to advise the imam. He wasn't afraid or shy. He didn't go to other people talking nonsense. He came straight to the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You forgot, we only prayed 2. Rasulullah said to the people, As-Sadaqa dhul yadayn, did the one with the long hands speak the truth? He called them the one dhul yadayn. His hands were extraordinarily big. They were bigger than the normal hands. His fingers were longer. His hands were bigger. He doesn't like maybe people saying that about him. He's black, he's this. Which Abu Usama said that? Which Abu Usama? You know the Abu Usama who's missing his tooth that the police knocked out. I don't like you mentioning me like that, but you're not mentioning me like that to make a tanakos, to bring me down. You're trying to let the person know, not the Abu Usama Salim al-Hilali from Palestine, not the Abu Usama Wasila Abbas from Mecca, Abu Usama al-Amriki. Don't call me Amriki, because I'm embarrassed what this country does in the name of my taxes, in the name of my jizya, all over the globe, in Africa, in South America. People are trying to establish democracy, and they come and kill people and knock over and topple the democracy. So the big bankers and these rich people can save and make all this money. But if you call them Abu Usama al-Amriki, I know you don't mean me like that. So if you say al-A'raj, al-Ahwal, al-A'mish, al-Aswad, Abu Usama, this, so that people will know, no problem. That's not Gheebah. But that's not what we do. Another thing that is not Gheebah is when someone is oppressed. The husband is a zalim. The wife is a zalim. The husband is beating up his wife. So she goes to her wali, and the girl tells the imam of the masjid, the wali of her situation, my husband beats me up. My husband wants to come to me at the time of the month that's not halal. He goes to her father and say, your daughter's on the internet talking to men behind my back. Your daughter, we don't like people mentioning that, but the person has been oppressed. La yuhibbullahu. Allah doesn't love. Al-jahr bil-qawli. Allah doesn't like when you say things out loud. It's suit and it's bad that you're saying it. Illa man zulim. But if someone is oppressed, you can say things bad about them. He stole my money, man. I gave that cat some money, 500, 800 pounds, dollars. I gave him money. He won't give me my money back and he's running around. I'm coming to you and you and you to go get my money. He doesn't like that you told us that. And so it's not Gheebah. You have a religious reason to expose his situation. It is not Gheebah, and this is important. Someone wants to get married. They want to get married. They want to get married. And you know something about the girl or the boy or the family, you say, that boy is this, that girl is that. That's not Gheebah. One of the companions of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, her name was Fatima bint Qais. May Allah be pleased with her. She came and said, Ya Rasulullah, 2 of your companions, and they're from the awliya, and wallahi, they're in the Jannah. They're in the Jannah. Your companion Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan wants to marry me, and your companion Abu Jahl, both of them came at the same time asking to marry me. For zawaj, nikah, what do you think? He said, as for my companion Muawiyah, فِإِنَّهُ سَعْلُوكَ لَا مَالَ لَهُ. Muawiyah doesn't have any money. He can't afford to get married. Not only can he not afford a second wife, he can't afford a first wife. He has no Sa'luk. Sa'luk is not the one who makes nahab. Saluk is not the one who's out there drinking and smoking, as the Arabs say, the saluk. No, saluk is the one who doesn't have money. He's penniless, can't take care of you. And as for the other man, Abu Jahm, he doesn't put his stick down. He will hit people. He will hit his wife. Don't marry this one, don't marry that one. And then he introduced, marry Usama ibn Zayd. So the Prophet mentioned something that they didn't like to be mentioned about him, but it was a truth for a religious reason. Now, some of us, when it comes to Zawaj, you hear what I'm saying, and then you go overboard, and you start talking bad about people because you're a racist. You start talking about bad about the one who wants to marry or the family, and it's not in this. If you have something real to tell the person, then tell them. The third situation that is not gheebah is when you go to the imam or the mufti and you want to know the ruling of something. You want to know. A lady, her name was Hind bint Uqba. May Allah be pleased with her. She said, Ya Rasulullah, my husband, Abu Sufyan, may Allah be pleased with them. Wallahi, Abu Sufyan is in Jannah by the Lord of the Kaaba. May Allah put me and you close to where Abu Sufyan is and his son Muawiyah, and put us far away from the Rafida, the Shiite, who hate them and curse them. I want to be far from the Shiite. I want to be far from them, the ones who have knowledge. Hind bint Uqba, Ya Rasulallah, my husband Abu Sufyan, Rajulun Shahih. He is not just bakhil, stingy, on another level of holding his money back. Like some of the Muslims here. She has to practically get on her knees to beg her husband, just give me some money to get some milk, man. Bakhil, stingy. Shahir, he doesn't want to give me anything. Is it okay, Ya Rasulullah, that I take some of his money without his knowledge for me and my child? Rasulullah said, yes, that's okay. Take some of his money for you and your child, but take what is ma'ruf. Don't go overboard. Don't take all of his money. So she went for a fatwa. She went for something to know. So she said something about her husband when she came to the masjid, to the imam, when she went to someone around this country, she wants it, and the imam knows the brother. He says, why did you expose me in front of the imam? Well, first of all, she exposed you because you played your hand. If you didn't do that, she wouldn't have done it. Don't start no stuff, it won't be no stuff. So it's not gheebah because you have a religious issue that caused you to do that. From those issues is warning the Muslims about evil and people of evil. In this masjid, I said in my classes and I say here, it is incumbent upon everybody here to be on the Sunnah and take the religion of Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and Ali, radiallahu anhum. They were not Ikhwan al-Muslimin, they were not Sufis, they were not Jamaat al-Tabligh, they were not hardcore Salafis, they were not all of these Jamaat. They were nothing like that. I say avoid all of those Jamaat and be a Muslim that is on the religion of those companions. I'm going to warn you about all of those groups, Hizb Tahrir, all of that stuff. Some people in the audience who I know, I don't know, they're from these Jamaats and they sitting there, they say, oh, and he's getting tight. And so why is he saying that? Because I'm against all of those Jamaat. I say, be on the religion of Abu Bakr, Uthman, and Ali, and don't be on anything else without any ghulu. I say, then I bite my tongue for no one. No one. So if you're warning someone about someone else, it's permissible. Like these Jamaat, you want to warn the Muslims. The young brother is learning the religion from someone who's teaching him, go ahead over to Syria and sneak into Syria and fight in jihad and blow up people. Or don't even go there. Kill non-Muslims here. You know about someone who's like that, and you warn the community. That's not gheebah. Even if you say his name, it's not gheebah, but it's better to say the name, leave the name. A man came and knocked on the door of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They say, Ya Rasulullah, so-and-so is at the door. And he knew the evil of this man. Like we know some evil of the people. They always making fitna between people. Always. Dividing family members, husband. They always are making fitna. When Rasulullah heard what he said, who it was, he said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Bi'sa akhul ashira. What a terrible man that is. This guy is a terrible man. Beware of this man. That's not Gheebah. That's not Gheebah. Because you really know there's evil about the person. But any Amr, Bakr, and Zayd that you know and you don't like, you say about him and to him, Bitsa, Akhul Ashira, that's Gheebah. Because he's not bad. He's not on my maslak. He's not on my madhab. He's from another kabila. He's from another qawm, another loan. So I say, Bitsa, Akhul Ashira. This is yandariju, under this thing about what's not Gheebah. No, man, that's a Gheebah what you're doing. I want to challenge this community, everybody in the first row on the right, everybody in the last row on the left, and our women up top, because we made Gheebah. We made Gheebah. It's a challenge. People come around you and they start talking about people in any shape, form, or fashion. You have to say to yourself and then say to them, is this from the issues that Gheebah is? Talking bad about people is permissible? Because we have to be tired, man. We have to be tired. We have to be tired. All of the kaba'ir that we're making, all of the issues we're falling into, and it just becomes natural, who we are. Who we are, all of us. Kalam, Gheebah, talking about people's honor, this and that, and it's just every day, it's just normal. No, it's not normal. That's not the normality that those companions were upon. And if I'm going to stand here and tell you people, the only Islam that Allah is going to accept from us, Yawm al-Qiyam, is the Islam that resembles what Abu Bakr and Uthman, Ali, and all of those compare, nothing else. Then I have to say, I know what Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and Ali were upon. May Allah be pleased with them. And it's not what we're doing. It's not what we're doing. Not praying, Fajr, not praying 5 times a day, not wearing hijab, not respecting our parents, not being clean, stealing money. This is not what those companions were upon. Being rough and tough, intolerant, having su'adhan. That's our situation. And then we have this ghurur. I'm a Muslim, and I'm Salafi, and I'm a Muslim, but in reality, our Islam is a problem. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ونسأل الله تعالى التوفيق والسداد. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا وطيبا مباركا فيه. Everybody here should have heard of and known of an Imam in Islam who is called Muhammad ibn Ismail al-Bukhari. Al-Imam al-Bukhari. If you have never heard of Al-Imam al-Bukhari, there's a brother who's been in the Masjid for a few days here. I got to meet him. He has his issues. He knows who I'm talking to. I saw him for a minute. I lost him right now. Al-Imam al-Bukhari. Al-Imam al-Bukhari is a mountain, man. You know the Kilimanjaro, Mount Everest, these big mountain ranges over there in Virginia, North Carolina. Al-Imam al-Bukhari was a mountain in al-Islam. Not like us, a peon. I'm a peon in this religion. Al-Imam al-Bukhari was the man. وَلَا أُزَكِّي عَلَى اللَّهِ أَحَدًا. It was his job. It was his responsibility as a muhaddith to say about the narrators in the hadith. And many of us have no concept or tasawwur. What is a narrator in the hadith? And Imam al-Bukhari was his wazifa and responsibility to say, As it relates to the Prophet's hadith, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this narrator is a kadhab. This one right here is saduq. This one right here is a person who forgot. This one right here is a wallah. He lied. This one, that was his job. That was his job. That was his job. But he said, once I learned and I heard that gheebah was haram, I made it my business not to make gheebah of anybody. Because I don't want to meet Allah Yawm al-Qiyamah making gheebah. Now, I know that kalam will go in the ear of some of you and out the ear of others, and Allah knows best. And the Imam al-Bukhari helped to preserve this religion that we're on, this Jumu'ah on this minbar right now. And he helped to preserve that, whether you know it or not. May Allah put al-Imam al-Bukhari in the Jannat al-Firdaus. Al-Imam al-Bukhari, it was his job to say weak, liar, this, that. And yet, he didn't make gheebah. He didn't make gheebah. He talked about people for Allah's sake. What are you talking about people for? What are we talking about people for? We should just go to the person and say, Farzan, this and this and that and this. Hasan ahsanallahu ilaykum. This and this and this and this. Akhi Nazir. This and this. Don't go behind the back of people, man. What are you doing? Ummah al-Islam, let us try our best, inshallah, just to be better Muslims, man. Let us stop looking at ourselves as if we have reached the peak of taqwa and the peak of al-ihsan and iman and al-Islam. We're living in a terrible time, man. I look in this audience and you look at me, we got a lot of issues. You're here in Jumu'ah and I'm here on this minbar giving this khutba right now. But we are people who got problems, man. We got problems. And you walking around like you reached the epitome of what Islam is. Me. I have deeds to give away. And Imam al-Bukhari said, if it was permissible, if I was to make gheebah, I would make gheebah about my mother and my father. Because they're the only ones who deserve my good deeds. I'm not giving any of my good deeds to you people. That's Al-Imam al-Bukhari. But some of us, over tea, over cigarettes, over cot, we just sitting there talking about people with this thing about what I'm doing is legislated. It's not legislated. So let us feel lies with Umar. You younger brothers. Don't let me die, except that you remember. That man told us, ask people, why are you talking about this brother and that brother like that? Is that permissible? May Allah accept it from us and forgive us, and forgive me for going over 6 minutes in the time. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم نسأل الله العافية والسلامة في ديننا. أقم الصلاة يرحمكم الله.